Major layoffs in 2022. We are going to go over the most recent 30 companies laying off employees. Make sure you're watching till the very end to see if your employer is on the list. Welcome back, everyone. So happy to have you back for another breaking news alerts and updates. Let's go ahead and begin with the first company. Pluralsight is cutting 20% of its workforce, according to their CEO in a memo. Goldman Sachs is finalizing plans to eliminate more than 400 retail banking positions, according to Bloomberg. Blue Apron announced it is cutting 10% of its corporate workforce. Airtable laid off 250 employees in its business development and from its engineering teams. Adobe could be cutting roughly 100 employees from its sales department, according to Bloomberg. Plaid CEO announced in a blog post that they will lay off 260 employees amid slower than expected growth following their decision to aggressively hire during the COVID-19 pandemic. Doma unveiled plans to cut 515 positions, roughly 40% of their workforce. Morgan Stanley first reported by CNBC that the company expects that 1,600 employees may be affected by layoffs. BuzzFeed also announced that the media outlet will cut 180 employees, 12% of its staff. Pepsi also is stating that they are going to eliminate hundreds of jobs at headquarters in Chicago. No specific amount or total given. Gannett, the parent company of USA Today, also announced that they expect 6% of their employees to be affected by layoff from their company's 3,400 total. CNN also began laying off staff. There is no specific amount given, but CNN is also doing the layoffs. All right, it states here H&M announced job cuts expected to affect 1,500 employees, which is less than 1% of the company's total 155,000 employees. DoorDash plans to cut 1,250 workers. AMC Network Chairman James Dolan announced a large-scale layoff. Also in a memo, no specific amount was given. HP plans to reduce its global headcount by about 4,000 to 6,000 employees by the end of 2025. Carvana is cutting roughly 8% of its workforce across its corporate technology and operations departments. Nuro, the San Francisco-based area delivery startup company, is planning to cut 20% of its workforce. Roku plans to eliminate roughly 7% of its U.S. workforce, around 200 employees, the company announced in a press release. Cisco plans to cut jobs as well. It states here roughly 4,100 workers, which is around 5% of the company's total employees, which is 83,000 in total. Now, Amazon Senior Vice President of Devices and Services said that layoffs come as the company continues to face an unusual and uncertain environment. So Amazon also is planning to lay off as many as, it states here, 10,000 employees in the corporate and technology roles. That is a high number. Asana announced that the software company will lay off 9% of its workforce, which is roughly 230 of the company's total 2,560 employees. Disney also plans to implement a target hiring freeze and anticipates job cuts, according to CNBC, after reporting quarterly losses earlier this year. And Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, also they plan to lay off 13% of their workforce, which is around 11,000 employees. It states here. And Twitter also plans to lay off 7,500 employees from its company. And Chime will lay off around 12% of its staff, with the cuts expected to affect 160 of the company's 1,300 employees, a spokesperson told CNBC. And Lyft as well has reported a layoff of 13%, according to a letter from the company officials obtained by CNBC. Stripe announced plans to cut 14% of its workforce, roughly 1,120 employees of their total 8,000 employees. Upstart layoffs are expected to target roughly 7% of the cloud-based AI lending company's workforce. And Zillow, the Seattle-based online real estate company, plans to let go 300 workers, roughly 5% of their nearly 5,800 employees. And that brings us to the end of the current layoffs in 2022 and beyond. Make sure to share with us in the comment section if your employer was on the list. Have you been affected by layoffs this year, or are you anticipating a layoff? Make sure to share with us in the comment section. And of course, don't forget to like, turn that notification bell on, and come back for all of the information that matters to you most, because I'm doing the research so you do not have to. And I will see every one of you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.